From Nevada Public Radio, I'm Joe Shaneman. It's State of Nevada. Las Vegas is no question the entertainment capital of the world. Every year, dozens of new artists and headliners play for limited stints. But what about entertainment beyond the Strip? For 30 years, one group has used performance to provide safe spaces for locals and to unite the community through their music. The Las Vegas Men's Chorus supports social equity and inclusivity, and their work involves a lot more than just singing. The group is celebrating 30 years with a summer concert that promises to pull at the heartstrings with powerful messages of hope, love, and fellowship. State of Nevada's Briana Joseph talked recently with members of the Men's Chorus.
Joining me from the Las Vegas Men's Chorus is President James Koperski, Artistic Director Ryan Duff, and Marketing and Communications Advisor Ryan Miller. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thanks so much for having us.
Thank you.
I wanted to get into the background of the Las Vegas Men's Chorus. The nonprofit group was founded in 1993, and it pretty much just started out as a group of men who wanted to sing. But it's become something so much bigger than that. How has the Men's Chorus evolved over the last 30 years?
When we started in 1993, we had about 10 singers, and they would perform for audiences of about 30. And since then, we've more than tripled. Well, 7 times larger. So 70 active members now and an audience of over 500 at our concerts, which is tremendous to see. And a lot of that growth has happened just since the end of the pandemic.
So have you seen more of an uptick in attendance at your performances as well?
Very much so. We transitioned to performances at UNLV's Artemis Ham Hall 2 years ago. And since then, we've seen our numbers go up quite significantly with a larger venue and also with more members in the chorus, bringing in friends and family and just the word getting spread around our community that we exist. It's great seeing that visibility really pay off.
It's so true. And, we talk a lot about, post-COVID and how COVID changed the world and changed all of us, right? And I think about our artistic director, Ryan Duff, and one of his Duffisms. He always says, you are special when you're part of something special. And I think the pandemic really identified that for a lot of folks, both, folks that want to get together and make beautiful music and make change, but also people that want to see that change and sit in the audience and hear it. And, we took that time of COVID where a third of nonprofits folded because they couldn't stay in business, quite frankly, and decided that we needed to identify what we stand for. And with that, we came out with, a new and improved mission that is all about creating safe spaces for our community and allies through musical experiences, which bring us together. And that's what we really do.
Yeah, I wanted to touch more on that. How do you incorporate this mission into your programming and into your performances, making it, more than just a musical experience, but something for the community? Ryan Duff?
I think, I think establishing that our identity was important first. In a town completely saturated with entertainment as the capital of the world, I think what we offer is unique. I think what we offer is special, and it's very much its own thing. And I think once we established who we are and what we're here to offer, we were able to broaden our base to our patrons looking for something specific and to ourselves, to our membership who want to be a part of something great. And I think that once we established that artistically we're on this trajectory and we're offering this sense of community to our members, it's just made us that much more impactful to our patrons.
More than just being an incredible group of performers, the Las Vegas Men's Chorus is known in the community for advocating for social equity, LGBTQ+ rights, and inclusivity for all. Ryan Miller, could you go more into the mission of the Men's Chorus?
Oh, absolutely. A lot of times the first question we get is, why aren't you the Las Vegas Gay Men's Chorus? And so it's really interesting. A lot of your listeners probably don't know about the gay chorus movement, and it was really born out of San Francisco. So back in 1978, the San Francisco Gay Men's Chorus was founded. And a month after their first rehearsal, Harvey Milk, California's first openly gay elected official, was gunned down on the steps of City Hall. And that evening, over 100 members of the new San Francisco Gay Men's Chorus stood on those very steps and sang a vigil which marked them becoming the world's first openly gay chorus. And that gay choral movement kind of spread west to east across the U.S., right? And so gay choruses started popping up in a lot of those larger cities in their metros. And that was a full 15 years before the LVMC was formed. When we looked introspectively as like, who are our constituents, who do we want to serve, and what good do we want to give back, almost all of the gay choral movement's tenets are us. That's what we do. But our mission's bigger. We serve members of all walks of life, race, age, gender, identity, and expression, which led us to that reimagined mission. And this helps us change hearts and minds, allowing to use our voices are good to serve the LGBTQIA2 plus community, but also other marginalized communities like BIPOC, AAPI, and even those battling homelessness and addiction. At any given moment of our 70 plus active members, perhaps 20% has had some of that in their life, and they find community with us.
Yeah, and I think it's really important, that community that we offer, I think is so much bigger than itself. And when you're giving a small part of yourself, your talent, to a greater good, I think that's what the world needs more of. Mm-hmm. And as a, overweight music nerd, I've always struggled in my life to find my niche and to find a place where I can contribute authentically and safely. And when I was offered the position with LVMC, I immediately felt it, like instantaneously felt that familial feeling that I think we're all looking for in the world. And it is a community. It is a safe space. We all have shared trauma that we bring to the table from whatever our backgrounds are. What makes us same and what unites us is our love of music. And I think that authenticity and that heart is what sets LVMC apart. And that's what the patrons feel. That's what we feel together every time we rehearse. It's just really what makes us such an impactful and important part of this community.
That's beautiful. Now, along with it being the 30th season, Ryan Duff, for you, this is your 10th season with the men's chorus. What has been your experience like?
Wow. I think, I came to the world of Las Vegas with an extensive performance background. I served as a singer on cruise ships and sang on the Strip and did my thing. And now I work as a public school teacher with the Clark County School District. And the work that I do with LVMC is for me. And it's for me to fit into that community. And so much of the work as a public servant, working as a school teacher, is for everyone else. And so this work feels personal because it's something that I feel passionate about, and it's something that I can really give of myself back to a community that has done so much for me. And we started small. I think humble beginnings are what keep us grounded, if you remember where you came from. And I loved the work when there were 18 of us. I loved the work when there were 15 of us. And now I love the work when there are 70 of us. It's just something that I am so incredibly passionate about. It allows me to speak when words can't. The music and my programming and the songs that these gentlemen sing really speak my heart and what I want to say to the world through what I'm doing. And so to be honored in this way, I know they've got some things cooked up for this July show with my 10th anniversary and whatever that is, that's a surprise to me, but I'm so honored to have stood in front of such an incredible group of men and of human beings that just want to share their art. It's just such an honor.
Ryan Miller?
Oh, it is. And, to share personally a story, Briana, as you can tell, Ryan Duff is a true servant leader, right? And he is humble and he has humility. And I like to talk about him because he won't, right? and so if I think about his 10 years with LVMC, and he's been in 15 years with the Clark County School District, leading their choral excellence, right? Arguably leading the state's choral and music excellence. 15 years ago, when Ryan Duff started teaching in the district, my life partner, Eric, was in his class. And 15 years later, Eric sings in the chorus and is the head of wardrobe because of Ryan Duff. He will tell you, and anyone who will listen, Ryan Duff made it okay to be a music educator and a professional and a gay man with a life partner. And Eric will tell you Ryan Duff saved his life. And now that history, that beautiful essence is now Eric giving back because of this man.
It's incredible. And I think there's 3 current members that were former students of mine that, you know, as a teacher, you want to advocate for lifelong learning and keep singing. But is there a place for them? And I think we've shown that after you graduate high school, there is. And I think that's amazing.
So the Las Vegas Men's Chorus has had huge growth since the pandemic. At the end of last year, the city of Las Vegas proclaimed December 18th, 2022 as Las Vegas Men's Chorus Day. The group received honors and recognition from the Clark County Commission, Mayor Carolyn Goodman, U.S. Senators Catherine Cortez Masto and Jackie Rosen, congressional leaders Susie Lee and Stephen Horsford, you know, just to name drop a few. What was it like to receive that recognition? What did it mean to you?
I think, first of all, just validation that we're doing something right and that we've really worked to establish our footing in the community and really worked to clear up our identity of who we are and what we're offering, and that we're now being noticed for that. And I think quality will continue to breed quantity and further quality. And I think when we just focus on doing great work that's committed to the community, this recognition was just validation that we're doing something right. That was my take.
Ryan Miller.
You know, I think functionally, when you're passionate about something, and our 70 plus members are, and our board of directors are, you get validation by just seeing your impact. You get validation by something as simple as an infant baby in the audience being moved to an expression of joy at a swell of a piece of music, or saying to someone at a chorus retreat who's opening up about their struggle with homelessness, "You have a family with us." We find validation in that. And it's almost breathtaking when others in, you know, positional power, such as you just described, recognize that. You know, we all do this work because we know it's the right thing to do. And to Ryan Duff's point, when others recognize that too, it means we're doing something right. It feels so good.
So I was wondering if you could describe the programming for us. The Men's Chorus puts on 3 main concerts, but also has a number of community outreach events throughout the year. So what does the planning process for the season look like? James?
The planning process for all of our events starts with our board of directors, and we sit down with Ryan, our artistic director, and decide, okay, schedule-wise, and what are we wanting to accomplish for this season. And then we also are reached out to by different organizations and individuals to do different community events. One event we were reached out to by a Grammy Award-winning producer that sponsors a fundraiser for the Michael J. Fox Foundation in conjunction with the Latin Grammys. And so we got to perform along with all of these winners and nominees of the Latin Grammys this last year, which was an amazing event. And then we do outreach concerts with the students of Clark County School District to, again, as Ryan mentioned, show those students that there's a future for them in music, regardless of their background and whatever they may be doing in life. From my own experience, I'm also a music educator in Clark County School District. I sing right next to people that, you know, are flight attendants or are retired, people that have just graduated from college. So we take people from all walks of lives and give them an opportunity to perform.
The Las Vegas Men's Chorus also hosts the Sing Out Festival. Ryan Duff, could you tell me a little more about that?
Oh, sure. Yeah. The Sing Out Festival is an outreach concert that we do in conjunction with CCSD and the Nevada American Quarter Horses Association chapter. It's a festival that we kind of sing and perform with, but we also, 6th grade through 12th grade boys come to this festival and learn some music that we sing with them in a joint concert. We perform for the boys. It's really, singing is macho. Singing is cool. Don't stop singing. because I know in 1993, no one said that to me. And had someone said that to me in 1993 when I was a scared, terrified 14-year-old going through this terrifying thing in my body and in my brain and in my heart, maybe I would have come out a little stronger. I wouldn't have had all the struggles that I had, and I think we're offering a performance outlet, we're offering an artistic outlet, we're offering a community outlet where these boys can see that there is a place where you can fit after you graduate.
Yes. And that shows up in every main stage concert and every community outreach concert, right? I mean, I think about, what Ryan Duff as the artistic director and the board of directors has charged him with through a mission of making impact every moment in diversity, equity, and inclusion. And Ryan Duff does this in such an interesting way that you don't feel like you're being preached to, and you don't feel like you're sitting down for a lecture, but yet somehow you sit in the audience as a patron and you can't describe why you're moved sometimes, because there's a story that is told through every piece of his programming. And, to see the beautiful mind at work, right? You can picture, on the big whiteboard with lines going everywhere. This man has about 7 different concerts in his mind at any given time because he wants to tell a cohesive story, and those need to tell a story for a season.
Fine line, sociopath, genius. I don't know where we fall.
That's right. That's artistic.
That's right.
So your upcoming summer concert is called We Are One Voice, which is happening July 16th at the Ham Concert Hall on the UNLV campus. Can you give us a little preview of what the programming will look like?
Well, We Are One Voice is exactly that. It unites us. I feel like the world is so divided and so going different directions. Like, again, I talked about that sameness. The music is what really brings us together. And there's some multicultural music in this show. We're singing in 5 languages in this show, representing multiple cultures around the world. Again, that music really can bring people together. And then there's this whole section on music and how it has impacted our lives. And I'm going to use the stories of our members to kind of connect the dots. And they're going to be doing voiceovers, and we'll have pictures of them at their 6th grade dance recital and them singing now. And I just really think there will be such a human element to this show. I think there's something for everybody.
James, can you speak on that as well?
Yeah. This season, this 30th season that we're celebrating, has brought about the emergence of our dance line, which has been a fantastic addition to just the production value. I was really lucky and honored to be a part of it the last 2 concerts. And it's amazing when you combine live singing with instrumental music with dance, and it just elevates everything. And I think that's like the wonder and glory of Broadway and musicals. Mm-hmm. And we're bringing production value to our audience every single show. And it's so amazing seeing the response from the audience, and their faces light up when, we're dressed in athletic gear and doing Fame and Flash dance aerobic numbers, and then singing in the rain with umbrellas and dancing like chimney sweeps. It's just been a true joy these past few concerts, and I really hope this is something that we can continue to do and incorporate into our productions.
And I think, to add on to that, the dance line has been added as an amped up production value, but it's what words say, music says, for some, what the body says, and they're able to express themselves through movement. And so we're just tapping all of the learning styles, and just there's something for everyone at our shows. And I really just cannot hit that home enough, how much we offer a very family-friendly production that I think everybody could get something from.
So you both mentioned a lot about production value. How much work exactly is going into this show? It sounds like a very, very intricate performance. Ryan Miller?
It's wild, quite frankly. And, to step back and look at an organization that's 30 years old, and we are still an all-volunteer board and staff, and we have 2 part-time employees, Ryan Duff being one of them, that we, still pay at or above market value because artistic worth is important to us. We're putting this together as we're flying the plane sometimes. And that's what's so wild if we think about in 2 years where we've come. So every year, it takes about 7,000 community service hours to put together our season. And through each three of the three main stage concerts, the rehearsal process is about 12 to 14 weeks to lead up to that. So that means our members who are volunteering their time for 5 hours a week are also paying to be part of this, so we can buy the rights to music and put up the actual artistic value. Ryan and James mentioned, we partner with Justin McClendon, who is a world-renowned ballroom artist and owns the Arthur Murray Dance Studios in town, and he crafted a dance line for us in our choreography each cycle. We've partnered with musicians and artists that are well known in the Valley to be able to bring the artistic value that you'd find on the Strip or at the Smith Center to a more accessible audience, because quite frankly, it could be the best message, but if it's not exciting and you want to sit there and give 2 hours of your Sunday afternoon, it's not worth it. And so we recognize that we have to do good by making it exciting.
And I think that is also true to our membership.
That's right.
If no one would pay to be a part of something that wasn't worth their time, they didn't feel valued, they didn't feel safe, they didn't feel heard, they didn't feel appreciated. And I just think that all of that, those 7,000 plus service hours, just culminates into just so much heart. And I think that's what makes us special. I just think that's what sets us apart.
Yeah, and one of Ryan's mantras is when you're part of something special that makes you special. And all of the hard work, all of the members of the board have put in, and our artistic director really makes it a special organization that all of us can be proud to be a part of. And it really radiates and transfers to our audience as well. And we see our audiences continue to grow. And we have patrons now that come back show after show. And it's
shout out to the Golden Groupies.
Yes, that's right. It's truly heartwarming to see the growth in the organization and the audience over these past few years, since the pandemic especially.
In a lot of that, it's taking big bets too, right? It's always kind of a little taboo and gauche, I think, in nonprofit world to talk about money. But at the end of the day, any nonprofit professional will tell you no margin, no mission, right? You have to bring in money to be able to do the good work you want to do. And the staggering statistic in the world today, we step on UNLV's Artemis W. Ham Concert Hall stage, and it's arguably the best choral hall in the state. They certainly give us a discount for being a nonprofit, but yet direct cost just to step on that stage for one day is $10,000. So to be able to do this type of work, we are actively pounding the pavement, trying to tell our story. And quite frankly, we need to do a better job of that. And so I think being able to say, this is what you are supporting, makes us be able to get to great new heights. And not to let too much cats out of the bag for the next couple of years, but there's some really exciting stuff that we have on our docket. We can do more than just performing at a main stage concert. Ryan Duff can create this community school of music that we'd be talking about. So the main stage concerts are just one way that we're able to do everything else.
I think it probably can't be stressed enough that as a nonprofit organization, you really rely on the community for your success and for your growth. So how can people get involved and support the Las Vegas Men's Chorus?
Well, I'll speak to just active membership. Active membership, we hold auditions every season, open call. On all of our socials, you'll see what that looks like. If you can sing in the tenor bass range, we will hear you at an audition. Those are always right before the season. There would be one in September, there would be one in January, and there would be again one in the end of March, 1st of April, to join one of those 3 seasons. And the word audition is like the word test. It's scary, but it doesn't have to be. It's literally, you can sing Happy Birthday if you like to sing in the shower. If you haven't picked up a microphone and sang for the last 20 years, but you sang in high school, chances are it's still in there somewhere. And there's a safe space for you to be a part of it. And we would love to have. This group has grown based on the word of mouth and grown based on our excellence and our commitment to the community.
James?
I would say another way that people can help support this organization is just by checking us out. We have different social media platforms that they can check us out on. They can go to our website, which is lvmenschorus.org. That has direct links to our YouTube channel where they can see all of our past performances and see the wonderful work that's being done for our community.
Ryan Miller?
Absolutely. And I think, from a dollars and cents perspective, if this message resonates with you, we, of course, encourage individual donations, as well as we're at a position now where we're actively, securing grants and looking for sponsorships. And that could be something as simple as taking out an ad in our program book. We see over 2,000 patrons in seats every year that will see your message, as well as thousands more online, as well as creating, sponsorship packages that mean something to folks. What I think the LVMC prides itself on is being a reflection of our community. And that doesn't mean, perhaps give $100 and get a button. That means we want to do something for you and your organization if you're going to partner with us.
Again, the Las Vegas Men's Chorus is celebrating its 30th season, and the organization has seen tremendous growth since humble beginnings back in 1993. But what's next? What does the future look like, and what can we expect to see? James?
Well, coming up next summer, we are performing for the Gala Festival. Gala is the Gay and Lesbian Association of Choruses, which serves choruses worldwide and has somewhere over 10,000 members. This festival usually draws in 6,000 or 7,000 of those participants. Altogether, I like to affectionately refer to as the Gay Choir Olympics because it happens on the Olympics year and voting year. And so the last time we were able to participate was 2016. We were going to go in 2020, and obviously with the pandemic, that's prevented that. So it's been 8 years since then. My first year with the chorus was the summer before that. So, and I was super privileged and honored to go participate and represent Las Vegas at that event. When we performed at that event, we had we were in the performance slot right before Orlando's chorus, and that was the summer that the Pulse shooting happened. And so the performance hall that we were in was packed. It was standing room only. There was something like 3,000 people in the audience. And we got up there with our 20 members back then and sang our hearts out. And we got something like 6 standing ovations for each of the songs that we did. And it was so moving. It was probably the greatest musical experience in my life.
For sure.
And that's saying a lot as a music educator, and I've been in music my whole life. And just the love that was reflected back at us because we just brought our authentic selves, as Ryan mentioned before. And we just shared that with the audience, and they just cheered us on with every ounce of love in their body. And it was so moving. So we have that event coming up next summer, which is daunting because we have kind of a little bit of a legacy to live up to from our last performance. But I'm so excited for our new members that have not had this opportunity. And so my big goal is to try and help raise some money to get all of our members to go, because there's obviously registration costs and travel costs associated with that. So that's kind of my big push. And so I'm very, very, very excited for this Gala Festival season coming up next summer.
Absolutely. And, we're doubling down on what we do here at home, right? I think I love how James describes the Las Vegas Men's Chorus as a true reflection of our Las Vegas diverse community. And you'll see us more and more. Quite frankly, we've had a lot of folks in the past 2 years say, we didn't know you existed. And that's not okay, because we need to tell our story and show our impact more. And so you're going to see us a lot more in the community. We want to be raising money for other organizations, using our voice for good. We also want to be able to get to that big, hairy, audacious goal number of 100 singing members and more by the time we hit December on the stage of this year. And I think that's very doable. I also think about where we're going from, what's next and what's possible. I don't want to give too much away, but Ryan Duff being able to commit his artistic passion to this organization at least a little bit more than part-time is pretty important to us, because there's so much more that we can do for this community. And just an aside on that, when I think about the We Are One Voice summer concert that's coming up on July 16th, again, Ryan's the servant leader. He won't talk about himself. There are a lot of surprises there that I'm not going to let out on the radio, so please be in the audience and see it. But my goal as the producer of the show is to make sure that for 10 minutes, all we do is celebrate this man. And I can guarantee you that the thousands of people that he has touched in this community and beyond will be there cheering him on, and there's going to be a few tears to be shed.
Ryan Duff?
That's very lovely. And I'm looking forward to to whatever they've got planned, but I'm also a little scared because it's not in the script, like it's not, I didn't plan for this. As for the 30 years for me, I'll be there. I'll be standing in front of them as long as they'll have me. The work fills my heart and my soul in ways that I've never been filled in any other job I've ever had in my entire life. So I just will continue to do my authentic work and we'll continue to tell our stories. And I think as we continue to tell our stories, my brain will pour out on these people and we will just keep growing, and our patrons will keep growing. And I think that the sky's the limit. I really do.
We're going to include information about the Las Vegas Men's Chorus, including links to buy tickets to their upcoming summer concert, We Are One Voice. I want to thank all of our guests for joining us today. Ryan Miller is the Marketing and Communications Advisor of the Las Vegas Men's Chorus. Ryan Duff is the Artistic Director, and James Koperski is the President. Thank you all so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much.
It's our pleasure.
It was a
Thank
pleasure.
you.